So the basic teaching is to be still. To be still means to be. And to be means to be. It implies a lack of preoccupation with thoughts. Thoughtless being, being devoid of thoughts. Whether thoughts and phenomena arising carry on in some distant aspect of your consciousness is irrelevant. But what matters is there's a collectedness of consciousness in being. Some of you, I hope, will feel this as soon as you come to Satsang. As soon as you come to meeting, you'll maybe feel a quality of silence, of beingness come to you. If you do, that's wonderful. It means you have a strong resonance with this meeting and the energy of this meeting. If you don't, that's the way it goes sometimes. Not to worry. Don't worry about these things. Never think, I think sometimes people come to these kinds of meetings and look around and it seems that everybody else is more spiritual than them, Don't think that about anyone here, please. Of course, that includes myself. Please don't think that. No need to put yourself down. Have faith in yourself. If you have a question to ask, it probably means other people at some point have had to ask that question in their past, or need that question now. Or maybe we'll need that question in the future. So any question you ask is fine. There genuinely is nothing you can say that is stupid or inferior. Sometimes those questions are the best. They elicit a wonderful teaching from me, sometimes. Remember, it's the interaction between seeking energy and non-seeking energy that creates the teaching. That is dualistic phrasing, I'm aware. But within Maya, this is the way it seems. Because when I'm by myself, there's no need for teaching, there's just being. I've mentioned to several of you before that some people over the years have asked me, oh, Tom, could you do a video on this? Tom, could you write a blog post on that? I find it very difficult. Because if I sit down in front of my computer to write a blog post on this subject or that subject, there's nothing there to write about. There's no real desire on my part to write about something or be a teacher, basically. But when I'm in front of somebody and they ask me a question, then at that moment, the motivation spontaneously arises in me to answer them. I don't know where it comes from. It just occurs. It's the interaction that creates the teaching. Otherwise, we just be silent together. In silence, thoughts lessen and lessen and lessen. The attachment to thinking and to desire gradually, progressively weakens until they eventually fade and die. The thoughts, the desires. As there is some kind of abiding or arriving at the deeper silence, stillness, in which nothing is lacking. And if we relinquish our sense of I am the body, if we relinquish this sense of limitation, limiting belief, limitation, then the ego disappears, consumed by silence, being, stillness. And it's this silence, being, stillness, in which nothing is lacking. So we can call it wholeness. It is this that we are. This is the reality. This is our self, our true nature. So we go beyond verbal assertions such as I am that, or there is no ego. This verbal stuff, this mental stuff, to the simplicity of just being. And that being, that beingness deepens and deepens and deepens until all objects disappear. To be technically correct, the beingness never deepens. It is just becoming clarified. It's just becoming clarified. It's becoming clearer. Clarification means to make clear. Because what's happening when we say the stillness is deepening, all that's happening is the ignorance is being removed. The objects, the thoughts, the appearances are being purified, removed. And it is felt as a deepening of being, diving deep within. In beingness, there is no depth or breadth or height or length or development or evolution. In the absolute, there are none of these qualities. These all exist within Maya. But experientially, we can say the silence deepens. Ramana tells us that the first thought is the I thought. By that he means the first thought is the idea or concept that arises. I am the body. I am the body-mind. I am a limited body-mind entity. This is the first thought, the original thought. This is the original, primal ignorance. And only when this first thought has arisen do all the other thoughts arise. Only once you have taken yourself to be a body-mind, do all the other problems and worries and questions arise. If you have a question, if you are confused, it is ultimately because you conceive of yourself as being a body-mind. You are not the body-mind. You can only have all these thoughts, all these questions, if you think you're the body-mind. Once you have taken yourself, conceived of yourself, once you have conceived of yourself as being the body-mind, only then do you have all these problems. Only once this conception has taken place. I laugh slightly then because many of you all know the English word conception also refers to the creation of new life. When a woman becomes pregnant, she is conceived. She's conceived her child. Conception. At that moment of fertilization, the first act in new life is this conception. Similarly, Ramana tells us the conception of the ego is with the I thought. So, by questioning, by inquiring into, by investigating, by attending to and looking at the nature of what am I? What am I? Who am I? Who is the thinker? We don't allow that conception to take root, and we go beyond it to what we are. And when we question, who is the thinker? Who am I? And do not allow yourself to start thinking, because what right do you have to think unless you know what you are? We are thinking habitually, thinking we know what we are, thinking that we know we're the body-mind, without questioning. Hang on a sec. Am I even the body-mind? What am I? What is the thinker? Who is the thinker? Who am I? And all the thinking, you see, takes place from the platform of I am the body-mind. I am thinking about X, Y, and Z. I'm thinking about this and that. But if you refuse to believe, it's a belief. If you say I'm the body-mind, it's a belief. If you refuse to take on that belief and refuse to think in those terms, and instead question, before you allow all the trains of thought to carry on and emerge and come out, it's just started raining where I am. I can hear a beautiful sound of raindrops on my window. Beautiful, beautiful. If instead of allowing yourself to take the identity as I'm the body mind and have all these thoughts, and each of these thoughts is infused with this sense of I'm the body mind, it's infused with this ignorance, this primal ignorance, I'm the body mind. Instead you say, well, I'm not going to allow all these thoughts to spew out, to emerge, unless I know for sure, who am I? Am I even this body mind? Do I even have a right to think all these thoughts like in this way? Or is this all one big mistake based on a central, erroneous belief? So if you question who is the thinker without allowing all these thoughts to keep on coming out, the thoughts will disappear. The thoughts will subside. And what will remain is what we are. The thoughtless, inconceivable being. That which is inconceivable. Ignorance is conceived. In both the ways we're using the word conception. Conception to mean creation, and conception to mean within the realm of ideas and thoughts and mentation. But what you are is inconceivable, cannot be created, is not born, and is beyond thought. It is not thinking.